I've been kidnapped for 5 years. I don't remember it, to be honest. But I do remember the labeling. They are better than me. I am lower within the same family. What's changed actually in my mindset is stop being victim. You want this? Get it.
Get it, yeah.
I saw people in the streets dying because of drugs.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. I said, we're going to die as a company. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. My way of seeing things is different.
Create that impression in their mind that I am the person who can solve your problem. That's the person who's going to win.
And I told them, you were relying on war to do your business, but the war will stop one day. Lucky I was ready for this type of judgment, like who is she? Moroccan, female, leading French people, oh la la.
So Loubna, you have a top 1% profile for senior leaders in the region, studded with C-level roles with some of the world's most prestigious companies, and probably one of the most prolific profiles for a woman in a corporate setup. What was Loubna Imenchal born with that others weren't?
Well, thank you for this kind introduction, but I would say I don't compare myself to others, to be honest. Like I think there are much better or other people that they are doing similar, having similar profile or even better. But if I'm talking about myself, and as I always say, it's more about the personality rather than the knowledge. If you go back to my career, you will see different industries.
Yeah.
Like from mobile phone when I started to logistic with FedEx.
And then
to technology of BMS, building management system with Honeywell. It has nothing to do with logistic. And then moving back to Jabra, then moving back to Johnson Control, which is similar to Honeywell, and then Logitech. So basically, when we see the different industries, and non-industry is actually similar to the next move that I have done. And what put me there in this position is my mindset rather than anything related to expertise.
What about the mindset? So, so it's a common trait among successful people. And what about the mindset is what people would want to understand?
I think when you are not an expert in the industry and you are targeting a position as a leader, the most important is to show how you have multicultural leadership and your way of seeing the vision and how to translate it in execution level. So basically, if we don't have the mindset of curiosity and collaboration and being the right decision maker and know how to execute the vision of the board or the company that you work for, specifically when you are a VP. And the basics of the mindset is actually being someone who's going to look for solution, whatever the problem is. Being the solution-driven, as I always share with my team, being solution-driven person is the key. Because if you came to my office exposing a problem, just a narrative to talk about the problem, and you don't have a plan A, B, C, D, then it's not a problem. You are just sharing a story with me. You know what I mean? So, and that's at any level of organization. It can be the person who's in the reception. If she doesn't have a solution-driven mindset, this person will not grow up within the organization, because the more we move, the more we are in the coming generations, the more we see that the mindset of being solution-driven is actually required, rather than people who are experts on exposing the problems.
Okay, I fully agree. Solution-driven is a mindset, is a big, let's say,
asset.
A big asset, which carries someone through different industries. But within yourself, there's definitely a certain drive. And I mean, because we see a lot of profiles, right? I mean, and this is part of our job, to have that sort of career, there has to be something in this person, right? To be able to constantly, push. It's usually something to do with how they grew up, their childhood, or the influences around them. I want to get into that stuff.
Wow.
Okay. So, and sometimes it's the things you don't have. Sometimes it's the void. It's the gap that you're trying to fill. Right. So more personal.
I think so. I think I'm actually writing a book that will come out about my childhood. I had very specific childhood. That's not something common, I would say. I've been kidnapped for 5 years.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. So, and the book is coming out. So that's why I'm like sharing it now. And I believe I was like 6 months as a baby. And I've been kidnapped for 5 years. And the police.
For the first 5 years?
For the first 5 years. From 6 months as a baby until 5 years. And when I came back home.
Kidnapped by whom?
Kidnapped by my nanny.
Okay. Oh.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And this was back in Morocco.
In Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really, really famous. But
was she Moroccan? The nanny?
They arrested her, obviously. But why I'm sharing this story, because actually you pointed very important things that I believe the childhood somehow
it does
impact the mentality and the unconscious way of being a person. You know what I mean? Because during this phase, I don't remember it, to be honest, which I'm sharing in my book. I don't remember people, they got curious how. I have no idea, you know, from,
you were 5
years. 5 years. But I do remember after the 5 years. And that's what shaped the personality. What I mean by that, after the 5 years, I got back to my family. My family, they are very well educated. I had to speak French when I couldn't speak one word because I was in the street.
Yes.
I had to eat properly. I had to sleep properly, respect the protocol, which I came from the street. So I had to switch from street to actually being in a proper family who speak only French at home.
And what were they speaking on this? What were they speaking on the street?
And the street
the Arabic,
is Moroccan.
The Moroccan, yeah.
The Moroccan Arabic language. And because my family had like certain level, we've been only in the French schools. Me and my brother and sister. So I was like always feeling there is a gap. They are better than me. I am lower within the same family. So the adaptation when you are 5 years.
Were you amongst the siblings, were you where were you? You were number 3,
I am the number 2.
You were number 2.
Yeah, I'm the second one.
And there were other siblings?
And I had my brother who is the last one. So basically.
There's 3 in total?
Yes.
So you were right in the middle.
Right.
And you were different in terms of your background.
So everyone was
years.
like, oh, look at her sister. She's beautiful. She speaks very well educated. Oh, look at the second one. Oh my God, disaster. Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because she was in the street. You know? So this was actually the labeling that I had to go through for many, many years. And I had to change the school every time. Because the school was so prestigious and people was like, oh my God, why they are putting the girl from the street with our kid?
Oh.
To that level. And I was like, I am the victim. Hello.
Yeah.
Why I become a problem.
Yeah.
And I do believe being very, at this age, thinking differently when the kid at this age were more having problems on how to play with their dolls, me, I had other type of problems, which is actually how to be integrated,
and how to
learn French quickly,
yeah.
How to learn how to eat quickly with the fork and the knife. It sounds very simple, but for a kid from street to be in this family, it is huge. It's huge. And at the same time, this kid doesn't understand why people hate him or hate her.
Yeah.
She did nothing wrong. And yet she's the victim, and yet she is responsible. So what changed actually in my mindset at that time is stop being victim. Okay.
Yeah. It happened.
Now, this is your reality. What do you want? To go back to the street? No way. You want this? Get it.
Get it, yeah.
So I believe that's how it started. It started with the way I was focusing on studies. I got my baccalaureate when I was 16 years. I was very sharp. I was like, when the other kids were like, oh, we don't want this, we don't want... Like when I was teenager and I saw like some teenagers getting drugs, I couldn't understand that. You know, because the other teenager was telling me, hey, come to smoke. I said, why smoking? I saw people in the streets dying because of drugs.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. They don't have this background. They couldn't understand what I'm saying.
They're just going for the excitement, right?
Exactly. For the excitement. They have cars. They are very rich. They are in a very high society. I was the one who, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing, because I saw that when I was a kid. I don't want to be there. And I said something when I was like 14 years to some of my classmates. And this person, she's 50 years now, drug addict.
Oh.
Very rich, but drug addict. And I told him, whatever your level, you're going to end up drug addict. So there is no difference between you and the one in the street. Your mindset is the same.
Just that one has more money.
You don't resolve your issues. You don't face them. So you choose the victim side. So I'm not...
Which is escapism, right? You just want to escape.
Yeah, you want to escape instead of facing. That's what I'm saying about solution-driven.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So that's a nice tie-in, huh?
Yeah. So I believe that story, as you mentioned, shaped the personality. So for me, there was no things that it cannot be done. You know, when you have this background, like whenever I got...
That's the one. That's the thing I was looking for.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
So basically...
There has to be something.
Basically, when I was passing my interviews, first of all, for example, in FedEx, they was telling me, you don't speak one word English. You have no background in logistics. You never been working in Dubai. Never been working for American company. Why we should hire you? Like during my interview, I was translating, literally speaking, what I had to say in Google.
This was
because I was in French.
This was 2006 or 7, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like, because I was in Paris working for Alcatel mobile phones, so I was only French speaker. I was not English speaker. And I decided that time that...
Why Dubai? So how did that occur to you that I should now apply? I'm in Alcatel, France, and I'm going to apply for a role for a logistics company in Dubai.
I wanted actually American company.
American company.
Yeah. It could have been any other American company, to be honest with you. And why American company? That's the question.
Yes.
It's actually, when I was in the French company, French culture, I said to my manager back in that time, I said, we're going to die as a company. And I was the youngest one in the meeting room. And he said, oh, if you don't believe on us, so just leave. I said, I'm going to do that. Because you don't listen to people. We are producing the smallest smartphone, and I don't see that in the future. We need data. All the operators need data. And we are not offering them the right hardware.
Yeah.
We are just smaller for the voice. Nobody cares over the voice.
Yeah.
The voice gonna die. And they said, from where you got this information? I said, because I meet operators. I know their vision. We should do something about it. Oh, what happened? 12 months later, Apple came, killed everyone, even Nokia, who was the leader in the markets.
Yes.
And that's why CEO of Nokia was saying, we've done nothing wrong, and yet we failed. Well, you've done everything wrong because you were not listening to the customers.
Yeah.
So basically, that's where I said, my mindset cannot work with the French culture anymore. I needed an environment that actually give the opportunities to the young people and to hear them. Back in that time, I'm not judging now.
Yes.
Now all multinationals, they have similar. I'm talking back in that time where, like, hierarchically speaking, you have to respect what,
20 years ago,
it was different.
It was different.
Now, today, it's not the same. So basically, that's why I targeted American company. And I heard about FedEx as company very people-focused. They don't have product. They have people.
They have people, yes.
So that's one of the reasons that I actually applied. And I was like, and I got this, like, why we should hire you? You don't even speak English. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. I want this role. A lot of competition around me. I know that. However, my way of seeing things is different. And I told them, you were relying on a war to do your business, it was Iraq war.
Yeah.
And you are in very comfort zone. But the war will stop one day. Have you even imagined how to replace this huge growth? Oh, no, we didn't, because we are number one worldwide. I said, well, exactly that. When you are number one, you should ask yourself the right question. It's very tricky position being a number one.
It is.
It is. And my interview was like presenting a vision, what I can do for the company. And I said, please, don't count on my language. I'm going to learn English. I already speak Arabic. I already speak Moroccan, Egyptian, Lebanese, and French. So believe me, learning English, it's easy. And that's exactly what happened. And as he said, my manager back in that time, I'm not hiring you because of your experience. I'm hiring you because of your mindset.
That's amazing. I mean, and actually, that's good on FedEx that they were able to see that. I mean, one of the biggest frustrations for us as a recruitment company is that we sometimes see this talent, we put it in front of our client, and the client's like, no, I want somebody.
Yes.
I mean, I remember once I had this client, this was a while ago. I want somebody who has dealt with the similar product categories, with the same buyers, with the same this and that. And I was like, come on. I'm like, and you're just then looking at a very tiny pool of people who may not even be that great.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, how do you look for that, for real caliber?
I mean, honestly, speaking with you, we've been facing similar demand. Like my direct reports, I always tell them, if you want to hire, there is actually some roles that they need some expertise. But when you hire a leader or someone who's going to lead a team, don't look at the same, actually. If you're looking at the same, promote someone from your team. Why you are looking for specific, it has to be, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To be honest, it doesn't matter. And I personally made some mistakes like that because I was more driven by having someone is going to bring me the result immediately.
Yeah.
Well, that's wrong. Because honestly, and specifically in the leadership positions, because it doesn't work like that. When you don't bring fresh blood, when you don't bring right mindset, you might just be shooting yourself. Because this person will act exactly the same as one of the people that they would report to this person. So you are not resolving any I would say, situation. You are just making it worse. And that's, it take self-awareness for those companies or those leaders that they are hiring to have a background and say, hey, I want to bet on the mindsets. Someone who is sharp enough, who's going to bring fresh blood to the team and drive the business differently to be better. We always look for similar, but we never think about better.
That's the thing, right? Because it's, I think sometimes also in companies, when you're making a big hiring decision, sometimes it's also, you're thinking about your own job. And you're thinking that, okay, fine. So let's say the person who took a chance on you for FedEx, had it gone wrong, he would have been in trouble or she would have been in trouble.
True.
Because for making that bold decision.
True.
That I'm going to bring in someone who hadn't worked in Dubai, who, didn't speak that much English. True. And, was not from the industry.
Yeah.
So that could have been controversial.
But you know what? This is how you know if he's a great leader or not. That's the truth. I had the same chance also in Honeywell. Honeywell, they said, you are a woman.
Was that a negative?
Very negative in the male industry dominated, such as Honeywell in 2008. It was very negative. And I'm not taking it badly or justifying it. Yeah. But but I could understand the position because Honeywell, they hire as a jury. So you have the VP operation, HR, marketing, sales, everyone,
Like a whole panel
product,
sitting.
all the panels. So basically everyone voted no, except the hiring manager. And he put himself in very bad position. But because of his background also, he was actually a psychologist. It has nothing to do with the business. And he was someone who had his own business, and Honeywell hired him.
Right, okay.
As a leader for a very large region, EMEA, based out of Switzerland. So the guy was like, if I am psychologist and I have this mindset and I succeeded to drive the business for over 5 years, he had this mentality to hire the right mindset, right? So basically when the job description came out, one of the hiring agency, without naming them, I went them, I said, I want this job. And they said, oh, come on, Loubna. You came from FedEx. Take DHL.
Yeah.
They want you. I said, I don't want. I have done great job with FedEx. I want something that I have no idea about. And they asked me, do you know what is BMS? I said, I don't know, but I can Google it. They said, okay, you don't even know what is building management system or IoT or HVAC or whatever, like keywords. I said, I don't know, but I don't care. The position is a leadership position. It's someone who's going to open the door on a high C level. I don't care about the solutions. Technically speaking, I'm not the one who's going to go into tenders and put them. I'm going to be the right person who's going to hire the right people and build up the right organization in different markets. And the C-level people, they don't care also about the solution. They want to shake hand with people that they can trust when things goes wrong.
Absolutely.
So why you are talking to me about this? And they said, oh, can you read the job description? I said, yeah, but I think it's wrong. The guy was like, and he's like you, like he's an agency who's hiring for his clients. Oh, he said, I'm an Loubna. I cannot introduce you to my clients. It's dead. I said, okay, let him finish and give me 5 minutes with this guy. And by the way, I know where are they. So it's either I go through you or I go
directly.
Directly. It's up to you.
Then he would have put you through.
Yeah, then he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. And this is how it went, because during the panel, I had to present not my CV, but my vision. Because on CV, as I told them, I cannot be hired. Female, the youngest one, under 30. They were looking for 40 years plus.
You were under 30 at the time.
Yeah. And they were like, they wanted someone who coming from Siemens, Schneider, direct competition, who's going to open the door for them because they need to open door in Africa. They've never been there. So they were like a lot of challenges. And they wanted engineering background. None of them. But because the hiring manager, as I said, was psychologist, I said, your job description is wrong for this region. My expertise is the region, which is Africa back in that time. And this is how it works in Africa. Maybe you know how it works in Europe, but you don't know how it works in Africa. And if you are bringing an engineer to do that job, this engineer will be more focusing on your product rather than your customers. I have a customer mindset driven. I don't have product driven. Because the customer, there is no differentiation between your product and the competition product. So why people, they should buy your solution, not the one that they used to buy? What is the difference? Well,
what is the difference?
People buy from people. People buy from people.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You
That's why losing people is very, very, very dangerous. When you bet on one person who's getting everything, if this person leave, you will be doing like this, then you can go back. People buy from people. There is nothing else.
You know what? We're also, as you can imagine, we are also a people-to-people company, right? Because we have absolutely no physical product. We don't even have a plane like FedEx does.
Yeah, at least,
we have nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing we have is our people and the people that we represent, people like yourself. That's all we have.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep telling my staff. that guys focus on the customer,
Yeah.
right? And yes, you can introduce our firm, but at the end of the day, maybe
Yeah.
they've heard this all before from other companies. It's all the same, as you
It's
said.
all the same.
And what they would want to hear is how you can solve their problem,
Exactly.
right? And the one who can at least create that impression in their mind that I am the person who can solve your problem, that's the person who's going to win.
Exactly. And that's why you see, and specifically in your business, you can see people when they leave the company, they can still get their portfolio of clients.
Yes.
They follow them.
Yes.
And I have been following people,
Yes.
even if they quit their job, because I don't care about the brand behind.
Yes.
That's
absolutely.
as a customer, I don't care. I know if I talk to Osama to get me the right person, I don't care if Osama is with this company or with this company.
That is
But
true.
I do care about Osama because I know he's going to find me because I worked with him before. And his brand, protecting his brand is number one.
Absolutely.
It's become for him more pressure than protecting the brand of the company that he works for. So I always advise the team, my team, I say, when you work for your own brand. When you go to a customer, it's your brand before the brand of the company.
Before the brand of the company. Absolutely.
So when they have this mindset, people, they start, as I said last time to the HR, I said, I don't need to supervise the team. We should actually implement the culture of work for your own brand. And you will see the result. Because when people, they work for their own brand, you don't need to supervise them.
Absolutely. You don't need to supervise them, and you can get them constantly thinking about how to do things, how to impress the customer, because they're not bothered about anything else. And they're constantly thinking, they're focused on the customer.
And they will be more solution driven.
They will be more solution driven, absolutely. And so is this the formula? So is it a case of, you've done logistics in FedEx, you did Honeywell, HVAC, and BMS, and then you did Jabra, Logitech. Is there, is it this solution-driven mindset that you will immerse yourself, whichever industry it is, and you will navigate and you will find the answers? Or, is there some other secret magic formula, some one-size-fits-all thing that you know how to deploy? That, okay, I'll do the same thing in every company and it will just work.
I think, yes, there is one thing that whenever I came to any company I do, first of all, is I never take no for an answer. There is always solution. And second of all, I am a good listener. I improve myself every time to be a good listener, because listening is a key. And when I say listening, it's not like listen to answer. No, it's really active listening. Like every time for each industry, I put myself in the shoes of the customer. Like literally speaking. For example, the story of Logitech, when I joined, it was 8 March 2020. It's exactly the lockdown there.
Right, yes.
Yeah. And I get my welcome call with the CEO, who is doing the welcome call with all the VPs in the world. And he said, hey, welcome to the company, blah, blah. And I have one question for you. You are hired to build up the enterprise business because, Logitech is consumer business and they wanted to have enterprise business completely separated as a division. And your solution is going to be sold to offices. Offices are closing today. How are you going to make it? And because he's consumer mindset as a CEO, for him, gaming, sound will grow up because everyone has nothing to do in COVID, they play, right? But when you're selling solutions to offices and offices are closing, how are you going to make it? And exactly the rule, number one, I put myself in the shoes of the clients. I said to him, for me, it was obvious, but for him, it was not. I said, we're going to double digit the growth. My concern will be about the product, not about the clients. And then he said, oh, Loubna, maybe you didn't hear me well. Let me repeat the question. He repeated the question. I said, I heard you very well. But I do believe people, they will still need to work from home, from wherever where they will be. But they need, what is the nightmare of a CIO and CTO? Is having a product hacked, having his employees hacked. So he has to ensure that they have the proper hardware that cannot be hacked. So imagine, so my customer is the CIO, CTO, is not the end user as you're seeing it. And his nightmare is to put the right webcam, the right this, the right that, so no one can be hacked when they are working from home. He said, oh yeah, this is how we're going to double-digit growth. And second plan, because I'm not looking only on the first plan, second plan, the layout of the offices will change. We're going to move from 25 seats, blah, blah, 40 seats in the meeting rooms to small, medium size. Who's going to have the right products? You. All the biggest one, like Cisco, all the biggest one, they cannot be there anymore. No one needs them. So me, I see it as an opportunity because, again, I put myself in the shoes of the customer. So having this mindset of being a visionary, people, when they hear about being a visionary, they look at it as a big, huge thing. No, anyone can be visionary. If you just actually put yourself in the shoes of your customer and imagine how he gonna evolve, and then you can write your plan. When I said that in the first day, he said, wow, either you are genius or you didn't understand the business. I said, I will go with the first one. Let's see. After 5 years, the growth is double digits. And it was the best chance for the company to show their solutions. Lucky we had this COVID because enterprise business could never flow like this.
No, for sure. And now, coming to the, taking you back, so you started your career in the late 90s, then through the 2000s, 2010s, and now in the 2020s. As a highly intelligent and ambitious woman, how do you think things have changed for being a female in the corporate workforce? I mean, I saw the latest stats. I checked on them that C-level, that level is around 7% female at the top level. Yes, general leadership, senior management, now it's about 25 to 30%, depending on industry. But they're saying that, okay, actual the top, very, very top is about 7% or thereabouts. How was it starting off back then? And how do you think it's changed over the decades? And how do you think it's changed? Does it change from country to country and company to company?
This is a very good question. People, they think that inclusion, which means having women on the seat, is just a nice to have. It's a must to have. It's not nice to have. And I'm not saying that because I am a woman. I'm saying that if the situation was different, like male, they were like 5%, and you have only 95% women, I would say it's wrong. Because diversity or inclusion or having a different opinion, different background, it helps business grow. It helps innovation. It is against stagnation. But when you have your team that is almost 100% male or almost 100% female, it's very dangerous for the business, honestly speaking. So to answer to your question, I started my career where was 0% women. One of them, it was Honeywell. I was the only female. It is very disturbing because the experience was like I had to prove myself on hourly basis, not daily, for each meeting room. But guess what? Because of my mindset and because in my childhood I've been used to that judgments, and it's getting exciting to prove people wrong. But that's me. It does not mean for all women.
For others, it could get exhausting, right?
It can be exhausted. It can be depression. It can be a lot of bad things. Lucky I was ready for this type of judgment. Like, who is she? Moroccan, female, leading French people. Oh la la. Like, it was no way, you know? And I was like, always, I'm going to prove them wrong. Which happened. I got 3 times promoted, 8 years with the same company. So I proved them that they were wrong. And by the end, they started hiring more women outside the industry. So basically, that was for me the success. But as you mentioned, for other women, it will be very, very hard. The problem is we build up a spirit within women that they have to be perfect if they want to get a seat. Like, for example, a man, when he apply, if he has 20% of the job description, he has a confidence that he's going to get it. Women, 85%, she's actually answering to all job description. She's still doubting on herself. And I had that because I wanted to promote some women in the organization. And she was like, I cannot do this small thing. But you can do the rest. No, it has to be 100%. Because she knew that she's gonna face judgments, that they will put her in a corner. So she was like, am I ready to do all this? In addition to that, being a mother, having a family, either we like it or not, we still have a society that is actually relying on women more in their homes than
it's
men.
True. Yes.
And which is actually not fair. Because if you want more diversity in work, diversity should be also at home, right? The idea of the growth that we are seeing is good. We are doing better. Are we doing enough? No. Whenever we have, like, for example, Trump now coming, the companies has changed. That's why they are still taking it as nice to have, not a must to have. If we have, Biden, yes, we should have women in the... now we have Trump. No need for women. It should not be like that. It's not a trend.
It's not a trend, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity. So the companies, and specifically the multinational American one, they see it as a trend following if it is, this or administration or this administration. It's more politic because they will win some points, and they will get this. But other companies, and specifically European multinational, they're not driven by that. They are still driven by, they don't actually get quickly to the idea, but when they are there, they are it because they need to have it, not as Americans' mindset.
Is it wiring? Is it something that's, I don't know, taught from childhood or external influences, or is this just how the brain is wired? I'm impressed about this question. Not all of them ask the same. I mean, we observe the problem, but we don't see where is it coming from. And sometimes not politically correct to ask the question, right? So
but it's true.
Yeah.
Osama, it's amazing how you ask this, because it is exactly, it comes from education. Look, when we have men, and specifically in the Middle East region, is growing up as, since he's born, if he move this from this, bravo. If he eat well his breakfast, bravo. If he has dinner, everything is bravo. Same family you go, you will find the girl. The mother will tell the girl, go prepare sandwich for your brother. That means a lot, huh? She has to prepare the sandwich for the brother, not the opposite way. You will never see a mother telling her son, prepare the sandwich for your sister. Go take care of your brother. Always the girl. So the men grow up in the mindset that whatever he is doing, he's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If his seat is great. No, but seriously. And I'm married to a Lebanese, so I know the mentality. I'm not talking about something that I don't know. I am Moroccan. I'm married to Lebanese. I saw people how they are, how they educate their kids. So it's unbelievable. So the guy, he grew up with the mindset that he is perfect. So it's not his fault. He really believes he is perfect. When the woman, when she grow up with that she needs to do more to be perfect. She's never enough. And that you can find it in Indian culture,
Yeah.
you can find it in Arabic culture. And that is true. Like I see now my son, he's 18 years. And I was like, wow. Sometimes he's overconfident about what I encourage my kids to be confident, but he can sell anything on PowerPoint. But you know the PowerPoint sells.
Yeah.
That's I mean that's also related to Gen Z, but
Yes.
and anyhow it is actually like that. So it's the education.
Is that why you've developed Connect to Elevate?
Yep.
So tell me about that. What is this platform?
When I started in tech industry, I was exactly what you mentioned. I was like, where are the women? It cannot be like that, right? I was all the time meeting with great women that they can really bring new ideas, really good leadership, but they were never there. So there is always something missing, right? So I have created this Connect to Elevate platform, which is actually a platform that is free of charge, that is actually encouraging women when they attend an event, they can just actually log all the information and they will receive a program of coaching. Depends on their demand.
What's the program developed by whom?
We develop it.
Okay.
Yeah, as Connect to Elevate team, we connect with people that they are experts in their domain. It can be a trainer for public speaking, trainer for finance advisory, HRs, talent acquisition, whoever can help this community of women to actually support them in their journey. And that's the purpose of it. So give them the opportunity, because either they don't know or they didn't have any, I would say, platform that allow them to get connected. Someone who can help them rewrite their CV, someone who can help them introduce themselves to a TA or HR or any of the company that they are hiring. So we have different profile. We have a lot of, what is amazing when we analyze the data, we found out a lot of women are startups because they don't believe in the corporates anymore.
Right.
That's unbelievable, huh? When I build up this platform, I'm thought that I'm gonna have people from the corporate. No, more are startups, and the question is like they don't have access to, when they were in the corporate, they got disappointed at some level. The opportunities were more given to men than women, so they decided to go and start their own business. So this is the story behind it. It is never someone who came and said, "Hey, I decided to be an entrepreneur." No, it's always because of their background with the corporate.
Wow. And speaking of startups, I heard you're one of the judges for the Middle East edition of the Final Pitch.
Correct.
So for those who are listening, what is the Final Pitch?
So Final Pitch is an TV show that gives the opportunity to all the startup to pitch their ideas. And what is good about Final Pitch is actually giving not only the opportunity to pitch, but also to coach them. So I was one of the angels, as they call it. And my role was actually to choose the startup that I can either invest on or coach them to become where they want to be.
Is it like a Shark Tank type of thing, or is it?
It is, but it's the mix between Shark Tanks and, I don't know how to say it, because Shark Tanks, they are only doing the betting, and that's it,
Okay.
right? Final Pitch is not. They wanted to show the startup how they grow up.
Okay.
So they have specific coaching with the investor who actually choose them. So there is a follow-up, and you can see it during the episodes. So it's not only...
Okay, so it's not a case of,
yeah,
I'm in or I'm out, and that's it, and then we look at other people next time round.
It's not really just a TV show to impress, but that's actually to give the opportunity to the audience to see what can be wrong, what those startups are facing, if actually who coach them, and how they grow up and they achieve their targets.
Oh, great. Coming to the companies and hiring, I mean, when you look at when you're building your team, right? What are the, let's say, the top 3 things that you would look for in people? Is it the technical experience, or is it their mindset, the solution-driven mindset? I mean, what else would you look for? So, well, we've talked about the solution-driven mindset, but how do you? What else would you look for in the ideal candidates when you're building your team?
I'm very known by being a person who never asks about the business. So technical is not.
So it's not that important.
No, absolutely not. Well, first of all, because the people who are reporting to me, they don't need to be technical. They need to be leaders.
And how do you gauge that?
Yeah, it is very difficult. So basically, my questions during the interview has nothing to do with the business. I need to know people. Like, my questions are more about their culture, their background, exactly what you mentioned, what they've been facing when they've been child, and people, they can find it offensive sometimes, because they don't understand why you are asking this question. But I always start an introduction by saying, this interview is to get to know you, not to know your capacities. Because if I am the 5th level of the interview, it's not anymore about the capacities.
Yes. That must have been checked earlier.
Otherwise, you will not be here today.
Yeah.
So I want to know you, and I open the door for them to ask me also the questions, to know me as a person. It is very important. It's a partnership. It's not like just hiring you and you have to... No, absolutely not. We spend more time with people that we work with than with family.
Yeah.
So taking it from there, if you don't know people that actually work with you in the team, how they struggled, how they came out from their struggles, what their ambition is, what time they spend with their families. Do they have family values? Do they have friendship values? That's what's important for me. And the culture is culture fits, because if you bring someone who's number driven, it's going to be a machine. We don't need machines. AI is taking care of that at all levels. So what we need, and we will need it more and more, is a human. People who can lead by empathy. And that, you cannot know it just by having someone saying, I am a great leader because I lead by empathy. No, it's through the conversation, through the questions, through the stories that they are telling. And I always check for one thing: authenticity. And that I can get it during the conversation.
What are some cues? Like, what are some cues or examples? How do you pick up on authenticity?
People where they are start hiding their weaknesses and giving the shape of the answers as they are the best of the best of the best, I don't trust them. Yeah, I always look for people who are really authentic, who can say, hey, I made this mistake, but guess what? This is how I get out from it. Because it has to be balanced.
It has to be balanced, absolutely.
Right.
Because I grew up at a time when it was almost taboo to be. It was like that you're not supposed to give yourself away when in an interview. So give yourself away, meaning that you mentioned that where you went wrong or where you screwed up.
Exactly.
And it was sort of, how do you evade it? How are you always the perfect person?
Exactly.
And it was almost like this was the objective of the interview.
Yes. That's people what they have in their mind when they come.
Yes.
And I do something. I put the people at ease. They don't feel it as an interview. And I don't want them to feel it as an interview. The idea is really to get to know them deeply, as much as I can. And putting people in the comfort zone during the conversation is the key, in my opinion, to get to know people in authentic way. We sometimes talk about their family. I had a lot of people talking about their wives, it has nothing to do with the business. And it can be very small problem, but I will always look at how he resolved it or how she did resolve it, how she's hiding, how he is hiding things, how he feel comfortable or not comfortable sharing, being authentic or not being authentic. So this bring to know the personality better of the people, which is much harder interview than.
That is absolutely true, and really refreshing to hear that. Honestly, from a leader, because I mean, I genuinely believe that. I think companies these days they go a bit too into the technical aspects, and like, okay, we want just somebody who's done the exact same categories, who understands this, and that's what we need. So it becomes very plug and play, and sometimes, I mean, it could get instant results, could get good results, but maybe not outstanding results, right? Game-changing results.
But for example, in Honeywell, this was good because the hiring manager, he said she was the only one who changed the job description because they thought they need this type of profile. For example, your clients, they think that this is the right type of profile that they need. They don't know.
They think, yes.
They think it's the right.
Until sometimes they see. Yeah. Sometimes, so we try to push them and say, look, just meet this person.
Yes.
And see, and you might change your mind. But and some of them, they see it. Some of them don't.
They don't.
But But we
and
have to
I
do
think
what we have
it's
to do.
It's gonna change with the Gen Z.
But Gen Z, and a lot has been said about them. A lot of talk about them, and you have all these big speakers talking about Gen Z, how to engage Gen Z. Do you think? And we've had our own experience with Gen Z people. Do you think that Gen Z, they need to adapt to the companies they work for, or do companies need to adapt to how they are as a generation?
Very good question. I don't think Gen Z will adapt, even if you tell them to adapt. I will tell you, like, Gen Z now, when they want to say no to things, they will come to you and say, no, I don't want to work in this condition. What you will do? Not one, not two, not three, not four. All of them, they have the same mindset. They grow up in conditions that they are very important people. You cannot change that mind. I think the Gen X is the unique generation who saw everything. From the fixed phone, to mobile phone, to internet, to AI. None of the generation will not the
we'll see, yeah.
None of them.
That's true.
So if there is a generation that you can actually adapt, is Generation X, because they're used to that. Z is completely different. They are more caring about themselves because they grow up, when they open their eyes, it's about self-care since they were kids. So you cannot tell them today, we want you to work 9 to 6 to do this. He will tell you, okay, to get what? This salary? Okay, and so what? Oh, no. And they become using the burnout word as they are saying hello whenever you talk to them. And their self-care mindset that they have is on priority, not like Gen X. Gen X more about, I have to do that to get that.
Yeah.
They don't have the word, I have to do that to get that. They think about themselves first. So for them, they need to be good to give to the society. You know what I mean? So good means taking care of themselves.
And how does a company cater to this? So
they will change the word. And specifically now with the AI, they will change the word, because any task that demands hard work, they will not be caring about it. They will leave it to the machines, right? And that's because they want to work from anywhere. They want to have work-life balance. They want to be actually happy in their own life, in their own mindsets. So companies will adapt. they will be the one creating companies. We will see more startups than corporates.
Yeah.
Either we like it or not. Because the most biggest companies, the multinational one, will struggle because of their process. When actually societies are moving through AI in a very fast way, and they don't care about all this process, it can be cut shorted. And Gen Z are very good on that.
Yes.
So they came in the right timing, with the right product, or the right industry. So either you adapt yourself to them, or you're gonna die, because they are the one creating the future, not the other generations. So we need to face that, and I believe large corporate, they are not there yet.
They're not there yet. But how does a Gen X leader, how can they start? What can they deploy? What measures? What initiatives can they deploy to engage them?
I think there is things. We've talked about my childhood, and we've talked about the mindset. There is something that I missed from this experience, and because I suffered a lot from judgment of external people, I became myself, never judging. Right?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to not judge, because it's very easy to judge. I see you are wearing this, I can judge you quickly, right? But I don't know at 1 p.m. where you've been, or at midnight, how did you sleep? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And yet, I allow myself to judge you. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Which is stupid. It's stupid if you analyze it.
Yeah.
So why I'm mentioning this? The Gen Z, if you judge them without understanding them, you lose them.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So basically,
so spot on. That's
yes,
spot on.
You need to understand their background. You need to understand where they want to be. And then you can balance with. Because they need your advice. They need your advice. Yeah. It's somehow a lost generation, because they are in between.
Yeah.
And at the same times, the key point for them is they care about themselves.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of Gen X. So instead of seeing that as a bad thing, we have to learn it's a good thing to take care of ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
Because we created in Gen X what we created. We created a generation that work until they retire. Well, guess what? There is no any more retiring now.
Yeah.
And again, it's the only generation who's gonna see that there is no more retire.
You can't retire anymore.
When we grow up, when I was in my 20s, I was seeing my parents, they are retiring.
Yeah.
And that they will take advantage of their retirement. But myself, I can't.
You can't retire, yeah.
So we are the only generation actually who saw the boomers retiring, but we are not taking the benefit of this. And Gen Z, it's going to be hard, because they will not even be able to own anything. And that because of their mindset also, because they want to be free.
They want to be free, yes.
But what will create is to have more individuals than groups. And that is the danger. And as a Generation X, we should show them what is the add value of having a family, of having friends, of having groups. That is our role. Because they will grow as individuals, thinking that being alone is good. But then they got depressed.
Yes.
They don't see that yet.
They don't see it until it happens.
Until it happens. So our role is to teach them that. So instead of judging them, better to understand them and to show them what will happen if they don't do that. And then some of them, they will take the advice, some don't. But this is how life is.